So if you watched my last video, you probably know by now what the Antonio Foundation is. If not, you can click here and it will open my last video in a different tab. But in basic terms, the Antonio Foundation is an NGO that receives funding from the government to censor the internet through other NGOs. What they wish to purge from the internet is what they define as hate speech, and according to their pamphlets, hate speech is everything opposed to social justice. And the boss of this institution is a former Stasi who used to spy on artists in communist East Germany at social events such as marriages, carnival celebrations, concerts, and simple walks through cities. If you don't know what a Stasi is or was, go watch the movie The Lives of Others. In summary, the Stasi was a disgusting network of state spies within the communist state of East Germany who spied, imprisoned, tortured and denunciated citizens of East Germany for being critical of the regime and its policies. She spied on West German journalists, artists, students and foreigners living in East Germany. For these activities, she was awarded with gifts and privileges and money by the Stasi. There are over 800 pages of documents relating to her Stasi activities, of which only 400 were published. She kept all of this secret for a very long time until the German political party PDS nominated her for a political position within the city senate of Berlin. During the investigation into her, as the process for deeming people fit for the office, her Stasi secrets were uncovered. She claims that she never hurt anyone, and I mentioned before how she hired a political scientist to cook up a biased study exonerating her, which has been harshly criticized by academics and experts. Yes, we ourselves only need to look into what is known of her activities from reading the released Stasi files, where we find from her the line, "First and foremost, the enemies of the state are Klaus Barsch and Thomas Barschel." Oh yeah, you never hurt anyone, you just fucking denunciated two people. You fucking ratted them out to a gang of torturers and thugs. Thomas Barschel was an author, playwright and movie director who lived in East Germany. Since the 1960s, he got into trouble with the East German authorities over his work that was critical of the regime, and he actively participated in resisting the East German regime through his work, as well as engaging in other dangerous regime-critical activities, such as spreading pamphlets condemning the Soviet invasion of Czechoslovakia. And in 1976, which happens to be the same year Kahane denunciated him, he left East Germany for West Germany because of the state banning the publication of his work. Klaus Barsch was a theatre actor and son of an East German politician. Known as a talented young man, he played roles on theatre stages in Berlin as well as on East German television. 4 years after he was denunciated to the Stasi by Kahane, and 20 days before his 30th birthday, he committed suicide through an overdose of sleeping pills and alcohol. So much to never hurting anyone. And this woman leads the think tank which provides the ideological backbone for 2 government-funded censorship campaigns on Twitter and YouTube. She is the boss of a government-supported drive to report people to the authorities in cooperation with Facebook, meaning that if you post on German Facebook, she has the authority from Facebook and the German government to pick your post, get your private data and report you to the state authorities, and even has enough influence to meet Facebook CEOs over this. Member of a government initiative to combat what she considers hate speech with government authority together with Google and Facebook. I guess once a denunciator, always a denunciator. Someone who has accomplished nothing in her life and therefore decided to spend the rest of it destroying the accomplishments of others. But the reason I am making this video is not specifically her, but more involving someone else. Someone you might have noticed recently due to the hashtag Ben & Jerry's new flavor starting trending recently, after that company came out in support of Black Lives Matter. But this video isn't about Black Lives Matter, it's about Ben & Jerry's, who I mentioned previously are supporters and work with Kahane's foundation, under the cynical slogan, "For a sweeter future. With you we can achieve one sweet world." Confronted with the background of populist narratives and growing division, it is more important than ever to work on a united vision. With one sweet world, we at Ben & Jerry's initiate a movement across all of Europe for those who wish to pull up their sleeves and work together on a society that wants diversity and enrichment. All across Germany, there are exciting initiatives which often don't have enough public attention and support. We want to use this opportunity to celebrate their work and want to give these organizations the opportunity to gain more voluntary supporters. How sweet of them. You can also see this being promoted under the slogan, "Roll up your sleeves for one sweet world," on the homepage of the Antonio Foundation. Going on tour under the Ben & Jerry's logo with a movie tour organized by Ben & Jerry's and supported by Ben & Jerry's across the country to recruit people into the internet Stasi, to use the internet as a platform for denunciating people they disagree with or merely dislike. But the thing that kicked me off into making this video was when I searched through Facebook, more specifically the Facebook page of Ben & Jerry's Germany, for references on Kahane or the Antonio Foundation. A Scottish member of my Discord also took part, and what he found made my fucking jaw drop. We know of Annette Kahane's story. You will find a statement on her personal story under this post. We consciously decided to make this partnership with the Antonio Foundation anyway, for the common goal of advocating for human rights and a better world. Let me rephrase that in simple words for you. We work for human rights with a Stasi. Hey there guys, I'm going to work for human rights on the interwebs cause we got to stop them dank memes with someone who worked for one of the worst human rights violators the European continent has seen in the past 70 years. The rest of this statement by Ben & Jerry's is a set of promotional bullshit about how important they believe the cause of fighting the evil memes is. The only thing I really want to ask Ben & Jerry's, who talk so much about how much they care about human rights, is if they also care about the human rights of people like Klaus Barsch and Thomas Barschel. And I think I can leave it to the audience to decide if this is really the kind of person you want to have surveilling your internet activities and determining what you should and should not say on the internet.